Alright, we have a user clip uploaded. I'm going to do a LearnWake analysis on this video and just basically give you a summary of everything that I think you need to work on just to build a good foundation. This is a user clip uploaded by AP, and the title of the post is All Possible Miswakes. Nice. So let's start the video and check out what we see. I like here how you do some sliding drills, like the front side slide on the way out. That'll give you a better feel for your feet. And then what I suggest doing is, instead of sliding on the inside of the wake right here, I suggest actually trying the same exact slide. We call it a one-handed backside slide. Do it on the outside of the wake or directly in the middle. At a slower boat speed. If you do it in the middle, make sure it's slow. If you do it on the outside, you can be going a little bit faster. And just learn how to twist a little bit more with your lower body, and that'll help fix your upper body. As you can see right here, as you're sliding, you're kind of bent at the waist, and that makes it hard to get into the slide position. You should be a little bit more upright and over the board when you turn in the slide position. So see the break at the waist right there? It's kind of a natural tendency, but this is a direct reflection of your toe side edging position. So when someone tries to get into a backside slide, if they're bent at the waist, it's probably how they're edging toe side as well. And we might see that later on in the video when you're edging out on your toes. So let's keep moving through the video. Now I noticed something as you're edging out. Right here, we call this edging with your butt. As you can see, you're kind of dropping your butt back and down. And that's not really the proper way to lean against the rope and create leverage. Right here in this position, you should try to think about pointing your belly up towards the sky. And that way you'll lean back with your shoulders, your hips will stay in front of you, and it'll engrave proper position for your heel side approaches on the other side of the wake. The one thing you have to remember is whatever you do edging out kind of engraves good or bad habit for what you do coming in on the other side. So what you do on the way out engraves good or bad habit for what you do on the other side, or what you do on the approach on the other side. So make sure you're edging out properly to form good habit. And then as you're edging in, you can see kind of this crouched, this looks kind of like a lightning bolt position. When it should be, you should have your knees rolled forward, but you should be pretty straight from your shoulders to your knees. There should be a straight line right through the side of your body, and that means your hips need to be more in front of you. And this is all you kind of get better at this position the better you get at backside sliding and just practicing the position edging out on the opposite side of the wake. And that's why you feel uncomfortable popping right there too. So let's rewind that just a little bit. And if you're bent over like this when you pop, you're going to get tripped forward and just be out of control in the air. If you had better upper body position, then you would get a lot better pop and you would just be more in control. The other thing to look at is when you do a toe side jump, the board needs to be a lot more twisted towards the wake. So as you approach, it almost looks like the board isn't twisted at all. It should be more twisted so the nose of the board is pointed perpendicular to the boat path, across the boat path. And that, see how it untwists right there and it's pointed straight at the back of the boat? The one thing to ask yourself is, logically, does it make sense to be going across the wake this way with the nose of the board pointed this way? It doesn't really make sense. The board should be pointed across the wakes with you, and that's how you have stability and control. It's a big reason why you feel like you get tripped on your toe side. But here's where you're engraving bad habit or bad position for toe side edging, right here with this position. So let's look at your edge out. Now you see how you're bent forward right here, and that's why you're bent forward on the approach on the other side, and that's why you're getting bad pop. Right here you should have your front knee rolled towards shore, and then your belly should be pointed up towards the sky. So we should see a nice straight line to your knee, and then if your knee's rolled forward, it'll bend and then go back to the board. So right now what you're doing is you're leaning out to go out instead of leaning down the rope by pointing your belly up towards the sky, and that's why you're kind of forming bad habit. So again, same thing applies. Whatever you do on the way out creates good or bad habit for the approach side. Now on your heel side jumps, to get more height, you can see the problem right here. Your approach is fine, that nice mellow edge, there's nothing wrong with that, but right here you should be standing completely tall. So I'm not sure how tall you are, but right here you're pretty seated, and then when you leave the wake, check out how much taller you could be standing and how much higher you could be going. So right at the top of the wake, you should be completely tall at your tallest point, flying through the air completely tall. And that's what, I mean, if you stood that much taller, you'd clear the wake very easily with very little edge. So something else to work on is standing up through the wake, standing tall a little earlier and riding through the top of the wake really, really tall. So let's see if we can point out anything else. Let's check out another heel side jump right here. Now see how you're getting compressed? You should actually be tall. So this means you're late standing tall. Try to stand tall earlier so you ride through the top of the wake tall. So your goal is not to kick the top of the wake, it's to ride through the wake tall so the energy of the wake can lift you up. So if you were tall right here, that energy, that lift, would just lift you really high up into the air, and you'd fly through the air pretty controlled and clear the wake much easier. So I guess the big things for you to work on right now is when you're edging out heel side, don't edge with your butt, point your belly up towards the sky so that you're in a better heel side edging position, and then that engraved position will give you a better edge position for your jumps on the other side. And then on the other side of the wake, for toe side, this is actually cuffed, we'll get to that in a second. When you're edging out toe side, make sure that you point your belly up and that you have a straight line from your shoulders down to your knees, and then your front kneecap is rolled towards shore, and you're leaning down the rope, not out towards the flats, to engrave good position on this side for your approach for your toe side jumps on the other side. And then try to do one-handed backside slides out in the flats and at slow speeds in the middle. And I think if you work on those three things for a while, that'll really help out your riding. So you're trying to practice cuffed and riding blind. I wouldn't work on blind yet. I'd get really comfortable edging around cuffed. So right here, don't really let go of the handle. I would just work on edging back in and out away from the wakes in the cuff position, learning how to turn the board and maneuver the board, even try to go across the wakes cuffed. And that way when you go back to trying to ride blind, you'll have a lot more control. So I think that gives you enough to work on. Just work on those edging out positions, work on standing tall earlier and more through the wake, and then fix that toe side edging position and those slide positions. And then get back to me with some more videos and we'll go from there. Thanks for uploading the video.